off the back of winning one of those force buys, I want to say for myself, but it was just the eco in that previous round. But yeah, it is at least a strong start in this one for them as well. Able to take down Pleasant early on, of course, over towards Long. With that, it seems now Japaleno, with not much time left, don't really have too many options other than to just take it over towards B. And it's going to be Tensky and Harry here to hold it down. We've seen them in the pistol round putting up a good hold, and again, it will be happening. Relax it all alone, dinked up already by the USP, and eventually finished off. So all 5 players do manage to survive for Nordavind. Some pistols even, I believe, being upgraded there in the end. Of course, they do have to still reinvest into the nades, but overall a clean round, able to build up some money for themselves, and now the opportunity to do it once again against a full eco in this round.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets. As said, like they're in a perfect position. I think as well, more importantly, when we saw them play this map yesterday, they definitely had their issues when it came to the B site. So I think Harry getting off to a good start, maybe we can see some more success from his aggression, and then who knows, there could be a better hold from them overall. They really failed with their aggression onto Banana as well in previous rounds. A lot of the time we saw Tensky get caught out. So again, if they can be a little bit more successful, make sure that they have a lot of utility, which, unless they're going to lose a lot of players to some Glocks, I think should be coming over the next 2 rounds as a minimum. And this is basically what we talk about. If you manage to break back in that second round, you leave your opponent in such a troublesome position when it comes to economy. Even without a bomb plant here, 2400 is going to leave a bare bones buy for Japaleno. Any kills would even just give them some extra grenades, maybe allow for a Molotov, couple of flashes, even just a smoke. And well, even if they invest into the Kriegs, for example, they'll be left with literal minimum you can get when it comes to utility.
Yeah, it won't be a great round in the following in terms of the buy. As you said, the nades will be a bit limited. If they could have got a few kills here, maybe that bomb plant as well, that would have been a massive help. But no, up against the rifles, not really able to do anything. Cleaned up on mid. The bomb at that point was already dropped, and then the final 3 players trying to fight in towards Banana just get sweeped up just as easily. So 3-1 Nordavind with 2 clean rounds in a row, and I mean, at a 3-1 lead, you don't normally see an economy being built up this strongly, and that definitely is the case for Nordavind. They easily have a buy in the reserve, maybe even a little bit left over afterwards. So this is where Japaleno, if they don't want to let that money get out of control for pretty much the entire CT side, they really do need to start doing something about it.
Well, as we can see, few smokes, a couple of flashbangs, no Molotovs. It's going to make this battle for Banana fairly difficult. In fact, taking a lot of damage from the grenades. And this is already going to be a complete change-up for the last few rounds. They'll leave Tensky here alone. He's going to be jump spotting, basically trying to leave the smallest angle possible for somebody to hit the shot. Pleasant even going to be forced back further. He can't challenge this at all because he just doesn't have the HP. And what this means, with Tensky being so aggressive in his position, even if he falls, there should be a quick enough rotation from Harry. And it means they can have a full stack on that A site if anybody is going to be going in that direction.
Yeah, no, it's a strong setup. Definitely for sure. There's also the possibility for the quick rotates from long, so you should see at least one of those being called in for now. Indeed, it's now Safix, I believe, who makes his way over. So they haven't got the greatest of nades left on the CT side either. I mean, one smoke already going down over towards B, leaving just the one in the hands of Chroman over on the A-bomb site at this point. So Japaleno, I mean, once they do begin to go forward, it's only really going to be flashes that can actually slow them down. So they still have a chance here if they can win out the aim duels once they go towards one of these bomb sites. And it does seem like A potentially being the goal. I mean, they're a little bit iffy about it. Desmond was beginning to run back down mid, I guess, just trying to put out a little bit of a sound cue at that point. But here we go. One player just faking a bit towards being arrested and going on towards the A-bomb site. And I think at this point, Nordavind will realize that's the case because they get that one kill, don't spot anyone else, and it's actually towards the grave where HS thankfully is able to get himself a double kill. Otherwise, this would have been very dangerous.
Yeah, that literally was right down to the wire, though. They had 6 seconds when that bomb was being planted. Japaleno leaving it to the last few, and well, there's not much utility for either side in this retake, but just the HP, the player advantage, would lead you to believe this is all for Nordavind to take. Bomb plant's good enough. It's something at least, but I don't think there's going to be any way they hold on to this round. Great retake, not a single point of damage taken. And Nordavind, they're going to get their 4th. But as mentioned, that extra money, I would like to see it invested into a few pistols here for Japaleno. Save up for a better buy. Sure, you can get the AKs here, but in all honesty, you haven't done enough damage that it matters. Unless you win the round off of no utility and just pure rifles, you're not even going to be hurting nordavind, and even then they'll be coming up with a strong buy.
Yeah, I agree. I would imagine they will as well. I don't think they'll buy on this. Just the fact that they've paused is probably them trying to work out what exactly they can spend and what way best they can use that as well. I mean, we'll probably see at least a few nades coming out, giving them the options for perhaps some later executes in the round. But with an SMG, with a Mac 10 coming out, we might see something a little bit quicker. 2 smokes, 1 flash. Okay, another smoke being pulled out down towards Dezen, so perhaps something over towards the A-bomb site might try and smoke off around the pit, isolate the fights if they can, jump out of the balcony with those Mac 10s and the pistols. So it's definitely an option. Let's see. I mean, now just leaving the spawn, a lot of the players looking like they will head over to second mid. So, yeah, I believe the focus likely is going to be on towards that A-bomb site. Plenty of utility, obviously, for nordavind as well, so there's the chance for them to try and deny it early before really too much can go down. But I like Japaleno's plan here. They listen to your advice. They're not going for the full investment. They'll give themselves a good chance in the next round. And at least having an opportunity here as well to try and take a few weapons, do a little bit of damage.
Oh, nice snap from NATO. Going to switch over to his Deagle. He's got Croman to support, and he's basically just baiting them in here. But a wonderful shot from Freddy at least gave them a moment, but I don't think they expected this many people to be defending the Arch. Relaxer will be able to get one. DJL has caught another. Somehow this has become possible. The only real worry is that bomb. Now, that almost puts into question why we're seeing nordavind actually fighting this so much when they had that much control. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence, but Tensky's able to rotate in this crossfire onto the bomb. Well, it shouldn't be possible, but they shouldn't have been able to even get this far in the round, especially after losing the first couple of kills. 50 seconds left, so they can take their time. I think they're hoping that the players on nordavind get a little bit greedy, start peeking into some of these spots, but ultimately, it's not going to be the case. Fairly passive play, and looking like they might just try and flash DJ onto the angle. Flash is absolutely perfect. Harry left completely blind. Unfortunately, that's the only piece of utility that they actually have. CT's a little bit more of their own, and at this point, just running out of time. Nice shot, though, for Relaxer. Trade almost instant. Relaxer still standing, and it's way too close. Considering the investment, Tensky only surviving on 34 HP, and they'll force a lot of rebuys going forward. So ultimately, a successful round for the Swedes. They've still got a lot to do if they're going to capitalize off the damage they've done.
Yeah, it really didn't look like they were going to find much in the beginning of that round either. So being pull it back, do that bit of damage, something they can be happy with. But now they're on the guns, as you said, they do need to actually capitalize on it, ensure that they're going to be able to get something going here on the D side. And it's not going to be easy because look at this. Harry straight down Banana with that flash in from NATO, able to get a straight up kill on DJL. The nade then as well in towards the ramp, finishes off Lesson after he gets dinked down. And the Japalenos, their vibe for that banana control early on has been completely denied by nordavind, and they're now willing to give it up because obviously they're in a 5-on-3, feeling very comfortable. It's early in the round. They still have nades left. They can just back off to the bomb site and run the time down at this point. And obviously Japaleno not sure of the fact that banana's been given up. They still have to use nades. They have to expend some time in actually clearing it out and just giving themselves the option to maybe bring it towards B, or at the very least clear it out and make sure that they're not going to get flanked straight away if they do go A.
Smoke even going to be going down just to hold them out at the top of banana. The CT side don't even have to take too many risks here. They can basically just sit in passive spots. Freddy Frog going to go peeking in. Does actually catch HS around the graveyard, and I wondered if the fadeaway shot was actually going to connect here. What they don't realize is the majority of the defense is actually in the spawn area. NATO going to start rotating into B, but they've got this completely wrong. Croman is going to have a fair amount to do. Bare minimum is a kill. Or are they going to go rotating into Tensky? I didn't expect them to go Arch just because of the amount of time on the clock. 25 seconds. Tensky starting his wraparound might have actually given a little bit too much away. The smoke going to go down, spamming through, does a lot of damage. In fact, even takes a kill, and Croman on the site is not going to achieve anything. Spray through, won't connect this time, but I like that from Tensky. He could have taken the risk. It looked like he was tempted. Instead, he's waiting for the rest of his squad, and they're in almost an identical position to last round.
Yeah, indeed. Keeping that advantage, there is still one player tagged down a little bit with Freddy Frog. If they put that Molly in towards the pit he is in, pretty much a spot where he can't do anything. As I say that, though, catches the timing on the peak. Harry goes down. They do know one player's in towards the pit, at least. Obviously, one planting, so Dezen around that bomb site, but he has the angle, and he has the headshot onto Neo. At this point, Tensky left alone. He retrieves the up, and obviously with the bomb already ticking away, there's not much that can be done. Despite them having the money, he does just call for that save to come in. Was hoping maybe someone would hunt them right there, so perhaps he could get one more kill, just do a little bit of further damage, not really allow even 2 rifles to be carried over. But there it is. Japaleno finally able to pick themselves up another round. A strong after plant coming through from Freddy Frog and Dezen. They need to get more off the back of it because, as we said, the economy for Nordavind had just built up into such a strong position. But with the damage they've done in that round before, and with that previous one as well, only allowing one player to survive, it is going to be, after this round, most likely an eco from at least 3 of the Nordavind players. So an opportunity here. If Japaleno get this one, likely going to be looking at 4 rounds before we have the full gun round coming back again from Nordavind.
Yeah, I still feel like, at least for now, that round was just off a bit of a misread. So I wonder if that's going to be able to happen again. Like, Croman got nothing done, and the other 2 players basically left him isolated on the site. So if they'd had a little bit more information, maybe even just kept control of Banana, they would have known that that was going to be over on the other side of the map. So definite opportunities for Nordavind. I don't think they're going to be too worried about that one, especially with being able to keep the AWP. And now they're going to try and just go back to what they were doing before, which was absolutely dominant. We're going to see these nades going down. Smoke from Plesson's an interesting one, though. It's going to basically mean that they have to take a risk if they want to fight against him. Boost will be coming in. It's just going to be onto timing, and Tensky gets it perfect. Opens up for his squad. Once again, we're going to see them just not challenge versus Banana anymore. They're very happy to just work with that man advantage. And in the meantime, we actually see 3 players pushed up on short, at least initially for Nordavind, but this quickly fades into a more standard setup on A side.
Again, Nordavind, they seem to just pretty easily be able to find themselves these early advantages to give themselves a little bit more comfort, and just as you said, falling back, playing a little bit more standard on the bomb sites, and just making Japaleno have to work for these rounds very, very hard. Bomb being retrieved. Looks like it will be brought back, likely over towards Banana. One smoke goes out towards Long, with how passive the CTs are as well. Once that smoke goes down, the player on the long corner, being NATO Suffix, is forced back off. So they don't really know exactly what's going on around mid at this point. So it is definitely in the mind of the CTs that it could be this A hit, which, I mean, is still possible. Japaleno, they have 30 seconds. If they were to go back now, they could still go towards A, but no, doesn't look to be the case. They're getting ready to go in towards B. The smoke should be fading fairly soon, and as soon as it does, it's DJL who's going to be trying to lead this charge. Just one in the CT spawn, though, as well, boosted up. They try and clear it and actually do so successfully. That's unable to catch Tensky, then peeking in from construction to see if he could find the trade at least, but that's not allowed. With that, the B bomb site being taken over, the bomb goes down, and the remaining 3 players for the CT side, they do not leave their comfort of the A bomb site. Just going to be trying to carry those weapons over. With that, they will be able to get another buy rather out in this next round. You'll see Tensky being able to buy for himself, and I mean, potentially if a mass or something could be dropped over, they get 1900, I believe, in this next round. So definitely they will have another full buy. But Japaleno are beginning again to pick up some pace here on Inferno.
Yeah, and again, it seems to be just off the base of having fantastic entry fraggers. Like, that round was coming down to the wire once again. We've seen a couple of those now with, like, maybe that. I think that one was a little bit quicker. They had 10 seconds left on the clock. The one before was only 6 seconds. And that's how they managed to win a couple of their rounds. And considering with, what, 15, 20 seconds, there were still 2 players on this site and they didn't get anything done. I'm hoping that we don't see Nordavind fall into the same problems they were having before, where it seems in the early portions of the round they do everything right, and then it just comes down to just playing well together or playing well individually. Because again, this is one of those sites where, sure, you put Harry in here instead of Rubino, but what that basically means is the synergy, I just don't think it's right yet. Like, individually, I don't think they do necessarily bad, but when it comes to their crossfires, when it comes to trading, when it comes to even just like the push coming in there, I feel like they had to do more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hope was that a smoke could go in towards the CT spawn so that Harry could just get one and fall back off and they could just keep the advantage they had. But as you said, ideally you want the way to play off of each other, and that wasn't really the case. The initial construction player probably should have been spotting a bit to see if he could at least shoulder peek and to see if those players were creeping forward. It wouldn't have caught Harry off guard as much. At that point, maybe they could have at least gotten one kill out of it, but I mean, as soon as that smoke didn't go down, Harry was just in so much trouble. He had 0 chance of surviving. He needed at least 1 kill from it, and once that didn't happen, the round was over. But right now, this is one that nordavind definitely can pull back. A pretty decent nade in towards the top of Banana. Does some solid damage onto the initial player. Okay, Harry able to get himself a quick double there. Tensky comes in to help out as well, getting that third player that was up close on the wall. And it's the wall bang from NATO. Freddy Frog trying to leap his way back down Banana. Gets his head torn off. That was disgusting. Oh, that was connected as well. Follows it up with another. I mean, yeah, another nasty one. It paled in comparison to the shot on towards Freddy Frog, but 2 in a row connected there as well to finish off. 3 wall bangs from NATO. Crazy spray as well from Harry. What a round.
Yeah, did it twice. I feel like you're right. The first one was better, but I think the second one was more impressive just because he did it again. I don't think that's what it is. Maybe that's just me, but
Yeah, I mean, at that point, he was just spamming. I think he wasn't even 100% sure. Maybe the player up close, though, did hear the initial tag. Maybe that's why he went for the sec. But either way, I mean, just spamming away, gets himself that initial headshot on Freddy Frog. He was far back down Banana as well, so that wasn't easy to get the precision that you need for that headshot. But what a crazy round. We've been seeing some mad rounds in MDL over these past couple of weeks.
well, the real worry at the moment, if you're a Japaleno fan, is the fact that Plessen, best player, I would say, in the last map, had some fantastic rounds. 1 and 8. Definitely not having the performance that we'd hoped to see from him. Even Desmond was another one who was fragging very, very well. And he's 3 and 7. It's only really Freddy Frog that's kept up the momentum. And I also feel like, at least from what I've seen previously from nordavind, a lot of the time they're countered quite heavily when it comes to their aggression on Banana. That's not something we've seen from Japaleno. Almost every single time they've gone for a push, either just to the top of Banana or even all the way down, they've actually come out with an advantage, which is not particularly common unless you are just getting run over. And it's actually when we see them play more passive and actually try and hold the site where things actually go wrong. If nordavind are able to continue to do that, where you're just going to have mad fragging coming out from Harry, Tensky also by 7 and 3, he's not playing bad at all. That's an issue, because that basically just means that you're completely out of fighting for that B site. And although, yes, a lot of the success they've had has been going over towards A, at least in the last few rounds, you don't want to just have part of the map section off, because that's just too much information for the opposition.
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, the information makes it real predictable, doesn't give you really any options, and that's the type of games then when you see those 4-man A stacks coming in consistently, if they're able to just take that banana control over and over again. And I think Japaleno also realized, of course, how important it is. They're going to try and obtain it for themselves once again. This time, the damage actually does trade in favor of the D side with those nades. Tensky and Harry both being tagged down. DJL takes a little bit of damage as well for his efforts over towards Banana. But for now, they do have that control. They still have a minute 15 left as well. They have plenty of time to slow things down, maybe reapproach back towards middle if they want to get that control and then make decisions based on that. But as I say, okay, they just want to go straight through this B smoke. This is a little bit of a change up, and I mean, it's not finding any success. NATO Sapic's just flicking at them as they come through the smoke one by one. That just looked too easy for him. Dezen's left alone, and I don't even think he knew what was happening because he was miles away. He wasn't really in a position to help anyone. I think that B push may have been called pretty quickly, maybe based on some sort of, I don't even know, maybe they thought they heard someone run the way, because that was a strange one. I don't know why they just go through that B smoke.
Yeah, either they just thought they had the timing onto someone, or it was that they thought there was only one player there and it had just been a gamble stack on the other side of the map. But that seemed so incredibly risky for such an important round as well. The one where they basically spent everything they had into it. And yeah, to just go running through the smoke. I don't even know if there were too many flashbangs there. I don't think anybody on the other side was blind. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. You kind of think you want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they must have thrown a flash. But in reality, with NATO just being able to pop shots off like that, you have to feel like there wasn't one. And I can't think of a world where you're running through a smoke on the B site of Inferno and you're not using a flashbang. Like that, that's world. Bad to me.
It's 2020, man. You don't know what's going to happen anymore. I mean, yeah, I mean, this one okay. Deagles. I feel like we've seen Japaleno have more success with the Deagles so far in this best of 3 overall, so who knows? Maybe they have a chance. Freddy Frog getting that double gives them 2 weapons, including an op and a Krieg. So that kind of negates the fact that these 2 players don't have Kevlar. I mean, the Krieg can get the 1 quick bullet to the head, obviously. Use that scope, try and keep the range a little bit. The same to be said for the AWP. And I was gonna say also the ability for them to try and wrap around through long could make this difficult. But Harry, he pushed out to that moto smoke, is able to get himself one over towards short and tries to continue to fight that up over towards long. I mean, if it works out, he takes the up out of hands of the D side, but when he goes down now, it puts a lot of pressure on Croman. His position known in that pit, thankfully already getting himself one, uses the smoke well to allow for the 1v1 up against Relaxa as well, and actually closes it out himself. I was gonna say at the least wasting time for that player to come in through long.
That round from Croman was superb for many reasons. Not even the fact that he gets the 3 kills, but his ability to stay alive, move into different positions. He's not really done too much so far in the match, but he basically saved them from another embarrassing round just by positioning himself very, very well and using his utility wisely. So great work from Croman. It gives an 8th round over to nordavind. Even still, the amount of damage that was done there is very good for Japaleno, but they're in a similar position that we saw in the previous map, where they need to win a round, and Dazon, that is one hell of a start, even looking for the 3rd. He's going to find it through the wall, giving them the man advantage, one that they thoroughly deserved after what was such a risky fight. Maybe trying to surprise them their 10th. I don't know why you're facing that. At this point in the round, I guess you want to try and bring things back, but after that many players peek in that direction, you have to feel like the T's are just going to wait that little bit longer just to check. And while Pleasant, I think he might be about to get his 2nd kill. It gets a little bit messy, but it's enough nonetheless.
Alrighty. I mean, that 3rd kill from Dezen was insane. Just the wall bang. But yeah, no, a strange one for that reface to come in. As you said, maybe feeling a bit pressured just because they were on the 2-on-3 to try and pull something back to make it a winnable round. But I mean, as you said, with how many players were actually fighting towards that position,
they wouldn't expect
super unlikely that they've all left. They don't expect a 4th player, but they're not all going to look away. that's what you have to remember, obviously. And that was what you were hinting at, so it was a strange decision. But there's a chance here. nordavind, they still have the full buy into this round. They're trying to challenge over towards Banana early on. And despite not much damage being done by either side, it is eventually just going to be called off by the CTs. They're like, okay, we can't really challenge for this anymore. So Japaleno definitely doing a better job throughout these past couple of rounds. Since you called them out on struggling with that banana control, they've took it up a notch.
Yeah, it was needed. It was just too dominant, and it meant that they could take these riskier stacks. Early trade. HS seemingly still not having the impact he'd desire. When, again, going a little bit aggressive to try and find something, but oh, he does find a bullet to the face, but I doubt he'll remember it. We're going to have the T's just slowly maneuvering back. And it always feels like after an early engagement on the A site, nordavind always seem to gamble onto B. Now, maybe that's just them having large amounts of faith in Croman, or just expecting that, okay, they'll rotate player. They'll think we'll rotate someone to A, so let's do the opposite. But it just means that multiple times now, Croman has been in a position where he has to pull off a big clutch. Now, last time, they were pushing him with a couple of picked up weapons, no armor, no real grenades. Now, they're fairly stacked. They have a couple of Molotovs prepared for him. He's the only man here still. There's been no rotation yet, even after all of the information's been there. Like, Croman must know that they're coming. And he's just going to try and use this flashbang to save himself here. 10 seconds. If he can drop the bomb, maybe there's a chance, but he's not going to be able to. He does get a kill. They have to go for a safer plant here as they look to rotate, and he does enough. The bomb's gone down on the site, and they're not going to be able to get it planted. Harry just sneaks his way through. But even still, I have to give that over to Croman once again. He doesn't get all the kills. He doesn't even drop the bomb. But he stays alive for an annoying amount of time and actually switches where they have to plant. And they plant in one of the only places that Harry could have stopped them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was the plan the entire time. They were like, if this is their only chance to win the round. I think they recognized that because they didn't even begin to rotate the other players. They were like, all right, Harry, you go. If you can stop the plant, we've won. If not, at least save a couple of weapons. And it worked out. Once that bomb was dropped, there was 1 second left. There was no opportunity. And there's a chance here for nordavind to try and actually break that economy for Japaleno and give themselves the chance for an 11-4 half. So this is dangerous, and so is that flash and MP9P combo in towards Banana. Nice little advantage again for nordavind. Happy enough to fall back, drop the smoke. They have a 5-on-3 already.
I feel like those are the sort of players I'm talking about. Like, how is Harry not punished? I get that he threw a flashbang, but that's one that either Pleasant falls back through the smoke, and they play it as a team, or someone pushes through the smoke with him and they play it as a team. Why is he alone in the open so that he can be left blind and have no support to kill off that player? Like, that's not how you play Banana. It's not a one-man show. You have to try and work it as a team, and that's another situation where I'm looking at it and going, okay, that was well done by nordavind to get an opening kill with an SMG and not lose a player, but how are they doing that? Surely there should be a punish.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was interesting that they didn't have someone ready with the anti-flash even, but I mean, there's still some hopes in this round. Dezen has found himself one. He's given the ability to potentially wrap through Arch. It does seem like instead they want to focus on A, believing that there is 2 players on that B bomb site, but I mean, Dezen, he peeks very, very early on. Should have probably waited a couple extra seconds for his teammates to start pushing forward here. Instead, now it's just DJL and Freddy Frog trying to funnel through the choke point, and with a molly and a smoke down, it is quite difficult. nordavind peeks in, gets both kills. Okay, the second one is the headshot. No living through that for DJL, 10-4, and as I said, a good chance for 11 now off the back of this. But I mean, the money isn't the worst for Japaleno, obviously with the loss bonus, but even then, 2 players not going to be getting the AKs unless they just go body armor. And on Dezen as well, if he wants the AK, there's going to be no nades, so he goes for a Galil also. So it is a lot weaker than you'd hope for.
Yeah, NATO's having a very good game, 16-5. Harry up there as well, and if you got your AWPer and your B-site player performing to a high standard, it does make things very easy. That start is not going to help out at all either. 2-14 is how DJL is going to be ending this half, and with Pleasant down there with him 3-11, it's just been not enough from both of these players. Smoke going to be thrown over. We'll bait out a little bit of extra utility, but the CTs do have some to spare. It is looking like we're about to get another B hit, but once more, do you feel like it's just going to have to be another late hit coming out from Japaleno? And although some of those have worked, some of the timings they've managed to get have been quite nice, especially with the entries. I feel like just with how confidently some of the players are now playing for nordavind, I just don't see this working out too well. Harry still has another smoke. We are going to see a little bit of utility still being expended. Again, no rotation. He's going to throw down his smoke, but it might be a little bit too late. The Molotov actually meets it as well, so a little bit of wasted utility. Tensky, however, will trade back 2 of the kills. Dezen just trying to close him out of the back of the site, and he will succeed. But he's now left with 58 HP, a bomb plant, and he's got to find 3 players.
No.
Take it away, Dean.
Not allowed. Yeah, no. Croman just, as you finish your sentence, already gets himself the kill. He did get that bomb plant, so I mean, there was that positive for Dezen, but he wasn't even allowed to stand back up at that point. Yeah, I mean, you said the bomb plant, so it was like he at least did get that, but you were saying what else can he get off the back of it? Absolutely zero. It's yeah, 11-4. As I said, there was the chance for nordavind once they took that previous gun round, and there's quite a few moments in there that Japaleno are going to be upset with about how their half went. For example, the full eco that they lost against when it was just 5 USPs. There was 2 smokes and a flash. Time ran down. There was the moments where they ran through that B smoke with no flashes themselves and just got dominated. So I mean, it's strange half from Japaleno, and they're not looking like the same team that we seen back on map number 1. This is surprisingly looking a lot worse than the Mirage. I mean, we knew we were going to be expecting more from nordavind here on Inferno, but Japaleno, they just don't look too good here, despite it actually being a pretty decent map for them.
Yeah, I think I'm impressed with how some of the individual players have managed to completely turn themselves around. Like, NATO's has gone from being like having one of the worst halves, at least in the first half of the last map I've seen from him in a long time, to having maybe one of the best. Like, who's fantastic. Then the same for Harry as well. Like, again, the stand-in just seems to be performing, and with how aggressive he was being, there wasn't a punish. Like, once or twice when they played passive, they were punished. But when they actually fought for Banana, I can't actually think, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, did they lose that Banana battle once? Like, actually, I mean, lose.
No, they never lost it. One thing they were good at doing was realizing, I think, when they were like, okay, there's a chance that we might lose this now, let's just fall back off and play passive. Because normally, if they did give up banana control, they'd show that initial presence. Some nades and such were thrown in, maybe they'd take a couple of shots. But if they didn't guess them immediately, they'd fall back off in the 5-on-5 and just be happy with it. So they never, in terms, as you said, lost it.
which I just don't see that happening too often in competitive Counter-Strike nowadays. Like, it would happen at least once or twice, and funnily enough, towards the end of the game, it seemed like they would just challenge it every single round, like whether they had an MP9, even maybe some limitations to the rest of their purchase, they were happy to battle it and just peak and take aggressive fights. And that only really comes with confidence, of course. It's actually the A site where I had a few issues with for Nordavind. Like, I do think that they took a few too many risks on Croman. And I'm sure he's a great player. I think that he proved that with how he managed to hold on to a couple of rounds for them. But there were definite scenarios there where, like the round where Harry manages to stop the bomb plant going down in the last few seconds. If Croman dies, they lose that round. No doubt, because they have a safe plant and the other two players are too far away. And I'm not a big fan of, at least on this map, seeing one player basically have to do everything, especially on the A site. It's very uncommon to see on the A site. B site, a little bit more of an option, like, because you can take deep control and you can have that rotation there a little bit quicker. But they basically just went, yeah, you're deep within the site. If they go short or apps, you kill them or we lose. And okay, props to Croman for doing so well, but I just don't think that against maybe another team that would have worked too well. Like, consider even the amount of teams who have recently just started nade stacking pit. If they did that once, that's it. That's their round over.
True. I mean, when you pointed out that round again where Harry actually stopped the bomb plant, it brought back into my memory just how many close rounds in general there was on that side that could have went the way of Japaleno, and if they did, they could have been looking at something like maybe a 10-5 themselves even. So, I mean, there's still chances here. I don't think it's been the greatest of performances by either of these teams here on Inferno for sure. I don't think either of us would say it's the most fantastic CS, but look how aggressive this is from Japaleno. Despite being down 4-11, still feeling pretty confident. Sometimes, though, it doesn't pay off. Relaxy, he actually gets dropped early on. Got the info, at least, that there was quite a few players working around here, but they're not really in the greatest of positions to hold this push. I mean, just jumping out in towards short. Tensky gets one. Freddy Frog was going for the knife. As NATO Safix begun to run, he didn't know, but he did save his life a little bit, or at least his pride, I would say, because he did end up going down in the end. But there we go. Freddy gets his second. So, I mean, Japaleno, they can definitely still fight back to this. The bomb hasn't been down all that long. There's a decent amount of time to work with, including the defuse kit on DJL.
I'm interested in Croman, though, because there goes that defuse kit. He still has a flash and a smoke, which is going to be thrown out. Gives some space to Aces. He's only going to get one, though. Freddy looking for all 4 kills. He's not going to be able to do it. Saved by Croman once again. An impactful 2K, which gives them their 12th round onto the board. And now the CT side, I don't even know what the right decision is here. Do you save to try and get the buy a little bit earlier? Do you hope that you can win a full USP round? Or do you force and then basically either just continue to force, or if you lose this, you hope for 14-4 comeback? It's a horrible scenario.
I mean, yeah, it's a similar scenario to what we seen back on map 1 of, I believe, the other way around, where it was kind of just looking hopeless for a very long time, and we didn't really see it being redeemed either. So this map has been a little bit flipped around. I mean, Nordavind, they're the ones now, of course, that it does seem inevitable that they're going to be able to take this one, and with that send us on to Overpass. And I'm hoping Overpass will be a closer one, because it's up there in terms of the statistics for both of these teams. But yeah, this force buy, I mean, there's still chances if Japaleno can get this one, especially, then I think there's the opportunity for them to fight back in, being on the CT side of Inferno. But right now, they've actually called for a 3-man stack over towards that B bomb site, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the correct decision. Right now, Nordavind focusing on setting themselves up for a wrap onto this A bomb site, which is going to be so difficult to hold down.
Ooh. Okay. Blesser maybe starting to kick into gear a little bit. He's at least going to give them a couple of kills to keep this trade, but even still, a strong afterplant position. Players pushing in with only a single flashbang and no kit. You almost wonder if it would be worth a save, but I just think the position they're in, they've got to go for it here.
Yeah, that is really the only option for them at this point. And with a quick frag from DJL, they definitely have the opportunity to try and actually make this work. The only issue is with no kit. The time, it is certainly working against them. Croman has a good spot up in the apartment as well. Bomb being planted in that corner, in his view. Steps out and just gets all 3. Unfortunately, Dezen at that point was just kind of like, okay, I have to rely on my teammates to get that kill up in the apartments and just hope I can get the one in the pit. And it didn't happen. 13-4 is the score. Japaleno with the force not able to do too much. And as you said, it's going to be 14-4 now before we see them really get a buyout. You were even saying that an option could have been to just keep forcing, because it seems like it is such a difficult task, such an insurmountable obstacle ahead of them. But they want to at least try and get those guns out, see if they can get back a few rounds. At very least, I do like when a team is like, okay, maybe we might not win the game, but we get the guns back out, get going a little bit before we head back onto that third map at this point.
Yeah, for sure. It's worth doing. Like, it's worth at least trying to gain a little bit of confidence, going, okay, if we didn't start so bad, or if we didn't have such a bad first half, there would have been opportunities there. Try and gain a little bit of morale back. But all in all, I'm pretty sure Croman has had an incredible turnaround, though. I think he was like 2-4, 2-5 at one point in the early stages of the match. His teammates were mainly doing the heavy lifting. We saw a lot from Harry. He's now 15-6. Just been on an absolute tear somehow with the P2K. Desmond's going to be able to pick off Harry. But it's the same situation as last round. Sure, you've done a little bit of damage, created some costs for nordavind, but they played this one very safe. They made sure there wasn't really a chance for them to lose this round. Freddy Frog, all he could really hope for is to try and steal a gun. That's about it. Just going to get down towards the bottom of banana, hope that maybe someone extends a little bit too far, gets a bit cocky, and can hand him one of those AKs. Hoping not for the Galil, of course, that's on NATO, but, you know, it's better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Croman is a little bit low on health, but I think even then, when it had been planted so far back over towards the coffins, I think they can just chill towards the bottom of banana. So it's going to be tough for Freddy Frog to do much. Even if he got one kill, retrieving the weapon probably wouldn't happen. And yeah, just trying to take that fight does end up going down to NATO. 14-4. It's going to have to be 12 rounds in a row here if Japaleno want to get themselves the win in regulation. So, as we pointed out, probably not achievable, but at very least, if they can get a few rounds going, if they can start getting a bit of confidence before map number 3, start getting some gun rounds, and just because when you're getting constantly shut out, if you're not winning any rounds, it's very difficult to feel positive about the matchup. One weakness here being for the CT side rather in the buy is definitely the fact that they don't have a defuse kit. If they end up losing the bomb site, then a retake probably won't be an option unless they move pretty quick at that point. So let's see. I mean, not really getting much aggression early on in this round either from Japaleno, willing to just give up banana pretty much, and nordavind, they've gone ahead and taken it for themselves.
Well, with limited utility, at least over some of the players on the A site. Not being too aggressive here. Banana's just been given up for free, and Desmond with a singular flashbang can't really do too much about there. It seems like DJL's just saving his utility for the inevitable push, but you do at least spot that there's no one there for now. They do have to be a little bit careful because HS is going probing on the hunt. Try and find something here, and they're actually rotating players away. The smoke gives him some space. He almost just spams into DGL, but he's just a fake, and he does actually drag back Desmond a little bit, and that could be enough just in this hit to give them more of a chance of actually winning the round. Now, Freddy Frog, good position. The smoke coming down late, so important as well. Just 30 seconds on the clock. They're looking to actually go straight through it. He will get himself one, but not the second. Croman's there to trade. Luckily, Plesson's there to support him. Relaxer trying to hold off any cross into middle, and he's going to do that perfectly. And now it's just left onto the remaining couple of players, running out of time. Not so much they can hope to do here. A couple of nades being expended, but in the and their smokes have faded as well. With just 10 seconds left, you wonder if they just have to try and save these guns or die.
They wouldn't even be allowed to save. They just have to take the fight and die, I think, really is the way to go. NATO still alive, might go down after time, and yeah, no, that's a little bit of an issue. Fortunately, they still have money, so it doesn't cost them too much, but ideally, if that weapon was saved for NATO, he could have given one over to Harry in this round, bought up for himself, even an op if you wanted. I mean, he's out of Inferno, so you don't really need the AWP, obviously. But now it's a little bit debatable. With one player looking at a double eco, I think it's a buy either way because they get 1900. Still wouldn't be enough for Harry to buy in the next. But I mean, with such a massive lead, they take the safer approach either way. They're just going to have the one eco here. Even then, they're able to buy up a decent amount onto the players who had that extra economy, of course. So an SMG comes out, some pistols, Kevlar, a few nades, and the pressure certainly is going to be kept on here by nordavind.
I like the fact that they're just going to go for a standard take into the site. The smokes that have been thrown as a counter aren't really going to do too much. However, Dezen kicking things off. They can get past that, so you'd hope they'd push, especially with Harry so deep into the site. HS, Wolfire 1, and the trade at least gives them some space onto the site. The issue being, though, we're now going to just have a 3v2. Have you disconnected as well, or is that just me?
I thought that was just me because you were still talking, so I was going to just let you get on with it. But no, I seem to have dropped from the GoTV. It's a GoTV issue, I would imagine. Hopefully nothing on the player's side. Maybe Misty can confirm. Misty is the producer, so we can have him in our ears. Adds to the many voices I already have in my head. And yes, I'm completely gone from the server, so we aren't really sure what the issue is right now. I think it's probably best if we do send it over.
It did carry on, because I've just seen in NATO gets the bomb down. Tensky died just before, and then it's another round for Japaleno. So it did carry on, thankfully. We have been, of course, kicked from the server. So for now, you will just be receiving a bit more of a radio cast.